I'm Marley Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns, and in this video I will show you how to use the brand new Red Heart Super Saver pooling yarn. This yarn has been engineered to make it easier to achieve the plain pooling effect. In this video, I will show you the basics of plain pooling using the moss stitch. You can use everything you'll learn in this video to create a scarf in any of the colorways available in the Red Heart Super Saver pooling yarn. All you will need is your skein of Red Heart Super Saver pooling and a variety of crochet hooks to help you get gauge. Along with the materials, you'll need the free pattern available at redheart.com. I'll be sure to put a link in the video description box right down there below, but it's also on the ball band of your yarn. Once you have the materials and the pattern, join me back here. I will jump in and show you the basics of this really fascinating technique. In order to get this really great argyle look using the moss stitch and the plain pooling technique, it's important you know how many stitches you are getting in each color of a color sequence, and it's important that you also shift those colors every other row, either to the right or to the left. You will know by row 3 if you are getting the actual argyle look because your colors need to start shifting on row 3. What makes the Super Saver pooling yarn so wonderful is that it has been specifically engineered so that each color length in a color sequence is exactly the same. So I worked with Red Heart to make sure that each length of color is 12 inches long. And within that length of color of 12 inches, if you're using the moss stitch, if you get 3 single crochets in each color, you can get this argyle plain pooling look. Now that doesn't mean that your chain ones have to be the same color, because they don't. It doesn't matter what your chain one color is. It really matters what the actual single crochet is, because that is the color that really pops and gives us this really great argyle look. That's why I mentioned you needing an entire pack of crochet hooks, because you might need to use a different size crochet hook to make sure you get the 3 single crochets per color. Okay, the pattern that we're using today uses a size H, but it very well could be that you need to use a J, an I, a K. It doesn't matter. The important thing here is that you're getting those 3 single crochets per color per sequence. The colorway we will use today is called Carnival, and Carnival has 5 colors in a sequence. So the very first thing we want to do is chain through those 5 colors. To begin, let's put a slip knot directly onto our hook. It doesn't matter at what color you make your slip knot, just place it in there. Now go ahead and start chaining stitches all the way through the sequence of colors. It doesn't matter how many chains we make because we will actually be working around our foundation chains, not into them. As I've been working with plain pooling over the last couple years, I've learned that working around my foundation chain rather into it allows me to make sure that my beginning row matches up widthwise to my finished row. It's one of those small techniques and subtle little changes that really makes your planned pooling perfect. I have worked through an entire color sequence here, and I want to make sure I'm left with a yellow loop on my hook. Why yellow? Well, that's because my very first sequence here is yellow. So I have yellow, red, blue, black, white. Those are the 5 colors of Carnival. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to work around our foundation chain in all of these stitches with the exception of our very first one. The very first stitch we do is a single crochet, and we will place that in the 4th chain from hook. Never count the one on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and place my single crochet into the actual 4th chain from hook. This will be the only stitch I work into the foundation chain. This also counts as my first single crochet of the color yellow. I will go ahead and chain 1. Now, working around my foundation chain, I want to do another single crochet. All you need to do is take your hook, go underneath your foundation chain, grab your yarn, come back up, and then complete your single crochet. Chain 1, Okay, so now that's 2 single crochets I have in yellow, and I need to do 1 more in yellow. And there we go. I have 3 single crochets in yellow. Perfect. Now I continue on using the moss stitch, making sure I get 3 single crochets in each color of the color sequence. I've just worked all the way down through my sequence. I'm going to set this down so you can see here. We have 3 yellows, 3 red, 3 blue, 3 black, 3 white. But you must remember, this initial skipped stitches over here, these skipped chains, count as a stitch, so they count as a color. So if this is counted as a color and it's white, I need to make sure I take out one of these whites, which is perfect because all that means is we're going to use the technique where you subtract 1 stitch from your color sequence to continue on. So what we will do here is I will go ahead, take my hook out, undo that last single crochet, and I will work another chain 1. Turn my work. I will leave all of these unused chains. Just leave them be. Don't even worry about them. We will deal with them at the end of the project. When you turn your work, you want to make sure you're working into these chain 1 spaces between the single crochets you've created. In those chain 1 spaces, you want to make sure you're doing your 3 single crochets in each color. This very first one will be yellow. Right here is my first chain 1 space, and I want to make sure I get a yellow stitch there. Then I continue on using the moss stitch and maintaining my 3 yellow single crochets. So 1, 2, 3 yellow single crochets. I continue on doing my moss stitch and getting my 3 single crochets in each color. As long as I do that, I am going to maintain this really great sequence that I have already established on my very first row. You'll notice here that sometimes the color between the stitches is a little bit off. That's because these chain 1 stitches, they do not count as far as our color sequence. We literally only want our single crochets to be that exact color that we want. So right here, I have 1, 2 blues. I need to make sure I get 1 more blue right here. And even though this next chain 1 is black, it doesn't matter because I have my 3 blues. I continue on. I want to make sure I get my 3 black single crochet. And then I finish off with my 2 white. Remember, the last one goes into this big space down here. Now that I have set up my sequence, I've set it up where I have 3 of each color in each row. It's on this row that I am going to establish whether my stitches are going to shift to the right or to the left. What I want to decide here is, do I want to make sure that these stitches below my chain 1 spaces, let me point here, here's my chain 1 space. So I'm concerned about what this stitch below my chain 1 space is going to do. So right here is my very first space I'm going to work into. If I make that stitch yellow, and I make this stitch yellow, and I make this stitch yellow, my stitches are going to stack. But if I go ahead and make this stitch yellow, and then I can get this one to red, my stitches are going to shift this direction. If I can make this stitch white, this stitch yellow, this stitch yellow, this stitch yellow, my stitches will shift in this direction. So that's what I need to do right now. I need to decide what my very first stitch is going to be. I can go ahead and turn my work, chain 2, and then let's work my first stitch and see what we get here. It looks like I'm getting white right there, which is perfect because now as I chain 1, work into the next stitch over, I am going to start getting my color sequence to shift over to the left. Look at this. Can you see that? So I have a white, or I have a yellow, a yellow, a yellow, and then on the row above, this is where they're starting to shift to the left. So now, as long as I maintain that same shift of all the colors to the left by 1 and get 3 single crochets in each color sequence, I will have established my entire Argyle pattern, and I am on my way. So let's continue on here and see how we end up on this row. So let's see here, make sure. That's perfect, because I have 1 single crochet in white, and I have my turning chain counts as a single, and this one is a single. So I've established my pattern. So I can turn my work, chain 2, work my first stitch here. I want it to make sure it's white, which it is. And now I am concerned with what the stitches are below my chain 1 space, and I want to make sure they're shifting to the left, okay? Because I've turned my work. So there's yellow, yellow, yellow. I've put a white on top of that yellow, which is great because now as I put a yellow right here, I'm going to start getting these stitches to shift. Can you see that? Can you see how the yellows are starting to shift this way and these red are starting to shift this way? Can you see how that works? It's pretty easy because of the consistency of the yarn. Each color sequence is 12 inches long. So if we know that we want to get 3 single crochets within each of those color sequences, we can keep the plant pooling Argyle look. Now, because the chain 2 does not eat up as much yarn as a single crochet, there will be times when you are either at the beginning or the end of the row, and you might have to eat up a little bit more yarn in order to get the color sequence to work on the following row. Let me show you what I mean. Let me pull this example in up here, and I've gotten to the point on this example that I've gotten my 3 blues, but if I carry on, I'm actually going to have too much black in my work going on in order for my sequence to work. Let me show you what I mean. If I put a black right here, and then put my black right here, chain 2, and turn, this first stitch right here needs to be white. And if I work my stitch, can you see it's black? Can you see that? Because now if I put a white here, I'm going to be 1 stitch over too far. So that means I've got too much black. Does that mean that the color sequence didn't work? Is it more than 12 inches? Let's take a look. Let me go ahead and rip out all of that black. And let's grab a tape measure. So if I put my tape measure down here and go to where it turns to blue, nope, I have 12 inches. So the black is still 12 inches. Why is it that I need to eat up yarn as I'm going around the corner? As we're going around this corner, we do a single here and a single here. When we do these chain 2s, it's not using as much yarn as we need it to in order to get rid of all of the black. So all you need to do is eat up that yarn a little bit. It's really not so hard. You can go ahead and create half double crochets. So I am going to create a half double crochet right here, and then a half double crochet at the end. Now when I chain 2, turn my work, I have the color I need right where it's supposed to be. So I could put my white right here and it's ready to go. What I don't like is that big space. See that space? That space is created because of the height of the double crochet or the half double crochet, but we can get rid of that. All we need to do is when we have to use these half double crochets, instead of working into this space, we will actually work into the row below. So I'm just going to go into the back leg of the row below and work my single crochet. What that does is it closes up that gap, but I still get the color I need it to be. I can carry on. Remember, this one is a half double also, so I'm going to work into the back leg of that one. And as long as I'm maintaining my 3 single crochets per color, I should have no problem. And it's because I ate up that black stitch, the black color down here, as I was turning. Okay? Does that make sense? So what's great here is that because of the consistency of the color dye, we can make sure that we have the exact number of stitches per color. It just might be that at the end we have to tweak it ever so slightly. But it is really easy. Haven't you seen here that it's pretty easy? We don't have to guess about how many stitches we have to have per color, and it's really rare that we have to do any sort of altering the stitches. It's really at the end or the beginning. Hopefully this video has encouraged you to run out and get your very own Super Saver pooling yarn and give this technique a try. Don't forget, you will want to make sure that you adjust your hook size to make sure that you get the 3 single crochets using the moss stitch. And if you need to adjust your tension a little bit at the ends, perfectly normal, you can do that. Make sure you offset every other row, work your single crochets, and you'll get this really great technique. If you want more instructions on how to do planned pooling, check out the awesome playlist I have over on YouTube. I'll put the link in the video description box right down there below. Don't worry, I won't leave you hanging. There's a lot of really great videos on planned pooling, and I am there to hold your hand. I even have one on the top 10 secrets of planned pooling. Make sure you check that out. I'm Marley Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns, and I really hope you run out and get some of this yarn and have fun with this awesome technique. Thanks. Everything you need to know about knitting or crochet can be found right here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Learn with Marley Bird. Visit youtube.com/Marley Bird.